Welcome to the Beantown Bully podcast.
So these white supremacist terrorists storming the Capitol, just the audacity these people had that they were going to do this and just think that it was the most American thing to do. It's kind of wild that they made themselves believe that they weren't committing a crime. Let's be clear that Donald Trump is the one who started all this, riled them up. For 4 years, he's been making people believe in his overpowering nature to just follow his lead. I don't know why, for any reason that these people believe that, but they just went on a tirade and broke into the Capitol, placed bombs at the Capitol. A couple officers a couple people got killed. I don't know where this level of it's like they were just drinking the Kool-Aid. When did people believe in someone so blindly? Like, he really didn't do anything for anyone. But most presidents don't do that. It's, besides going to war, and signing up some rules, he really didn't do much for any of them career-wise. Don't get me wrong, he made some tax changes to make people making a certain amount of money to get paid more, but they were willing to commit federal crimes, treason, in his name. It's like he was the second coming, and how they blindly followed him. That one, Elizabeth, I can't remember her name, but she was trash anyway. She got shot. No one gives a fuck about her. Thank you for your service, because I guess she was in the Air Force. Thank you for your service, but you went against the U.S., and once you go against the U.S., it's the fuck out of here. She got shot. She got gunned down. She thought her whiteness was gonna protect her from bullets. Fuck out of here, Neo. This bitch was just crazy. Everyone's seen the video of it, so I don't really need to get into it. But it's clearly this bitch was on something hella strong, that she believed in her heart that what she was doing wasn't gonna get her killed. And then people want to compare Black Lives Matter to this. Let's be very clear. The rioting is completely different from the peaceful march. And if you want to consider the two, okay, let's do that. In Black Lives Matter protests, they didn't have guns. They weren't attacking people left and right. Don't get me wrong, there were people that were rowdy. But the majority of the videos that you see, it's people being attacked by the police when they're peacefully protesting. And Blue Lives Matter went out the window when you don't agree if you don't agree that white people should be in charge. If it's against your beloved Trump, well, then there's a lot of information coming out about some of these protests. Some of them are getting locked up. FBI saying that they need help. I don't understand why you need help if there's actually video evidence of them committing the crimes. But they have to lock up each and every one of them. I don't want to hear that they all get hit for fine. People in the Black Lives Matter protests were arrested immediately. I believe at one high point there was 1,400 people arrested in a single night. There was all these tactics like rounding them up, pinning them in so they couldn't go to where they needed to go to leave the area, beating them with batons. One girl went blind and was shot in the eye with a rubber bullet, tear gas. There was a lot of this happening, but there was a lot of kid gloves happening in the Capitol assault or Capitol attack by these terrorists. Where was the backup? That's one. And it's the capital of the United States. Why are they making it seem like this shouldn't be the most protective location in the world? It's like someone running them to the Pentagon and just getting to where they need to go. Clearly, a lot of people were on Trump's side. That were police officers that were directing people to where to go and stuff like that. There was a Republican who was tweeting out Nancy Pelosi's location while she was in the building. She has to be hit for crime. She resigned, but that doesn't mean anything. You have to be hit for crime. I don't know what they can hit her with, but clearly there was a level of just stupidity. They seen the crowds, and she wanted violence to happen to her because she was texting and tweeting her location out to the masses. the 2-hour respawn time for the National Guard to show up is laughable. National Guard was on deck on Black Lives Matter. Like, they were already there. What is the delay here? Trump's presidency and Mike Pence is going to be the... I don't think anyone can trust the GOP Republican side at any point in time. It's just that these people were fucking batshit crazy. And anyone who even sided with him remotely, you clearly understood that you accepted what was happening. And what was happening was that these people went batshit crazy and attacked police officers guarding a building. It's not like there was some type of friction before then. These guys were guarding a building. The terrorists walked up to them and started all of this. Then they were saying, there's a video saying that they were invited. They definitely was invited by Trump. No one can even argue that fact. It's just that it was just so crazy for the amount of damage. There was a cop dragged down the stairs, beaten and tased. There's audio of him saying that he was holding onto his gun because he didn't want them to get his gun. This is the most craziest shit that's happened to America. I'm going to say since the Civil War. At least the Civil War, we already knew what the sides were. These radicals are literally sprinkled in America. And they've taken a hold of them, and generations to come, they're not going to let this go. They're not going to let this go. Trump is their guy. They believe in Trump so much. Trump was supposed to be with them on the march. But, you know, that pussy decided, well, I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to hide in an undisclosed location and watch all this on television. Then there's footage of him. Let me just double check this. The footage part may or may not be real because, you know, people like to rile up people on both sides. But there's video of him watching it on television, like all the carnage and everything like that. It just seemed that they clearly were not... He knew what was going on, and then 2 to 3 hours later, he's like, everyone go home. He could have stopped it whenever he wanted. He decided not to because these people really follow him. People gave their life to him. And what is up with this daddy syndrome that these people have with Trump? It's hella weird. Like, I don't know where this came from, but it's hella weird. Back to the FBI asking for help. If everyone's recording themselves, why do you need help? Like, we have facial recognition software. There's images of these people. There's 365 images of these people doing these tasks. I feel sorry for the person that's going to have to go through all of it, but let's just be real. These people knew what they were doing. Now, Trump has been banned from multiple media outlets, and good or bad thing, people's like it's against freedom of speech. It's really not, because these are privately owned companies. If I own something privately, I don't have to keep you there. It's like me owning a house, and then you come into my house and I decide to kick you out. Like, I own this. I make the rules that happens here. So, it's like these people don't know what freedom of speech is. Like, when it comes to being white and you say freedom of speech, it means you can just literally just say anything and do anything. That's not really true. You can't threaten people's lives. Now the Republicans are crying for unity and saying that we need to move past this. Nah, fuck out of here. We're gonna stick on the same shit that you guys were on for the last 4 years. This was your guy, and you're gonna feel it for generations to come. You guys are labeled terrorists. Look, there's no way around that. Anyone who had any part of what happened, even how small, you're labeled as a terrorist. I'm saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to imply that if you just voted for the guy, you're generally bad. If you voted for the guy and then you showed up to the building, to the Capitol building, you are a part of the problem. Now, Trump has said a lot of rhetoric that is just all over the place. That really doesn't concern me. But this is point blank white supremacy at its finest. And knowing that the majority of people did not get arrested that day means that there's a lot of people covering them. I also have to bring up the fact that there was a police officer who committed suicide. it's kind of odd that he would commit suicide during this time period. They have to go into more detail because I feel like it might have been a cover-up because the guy probably let him in. But this is all speculation. I have no information on that anywhere. But it seems odd that after what's all said and done, you commit suicide for after this. Like, it seems off and weird. Like, don't get me wrong. If he had problems before, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you, after everything is said and done, kill yourself? It just, in my mind, this probably sided with Trump, let people in, and then when he realized the backlash he was going to have, he took his own life. He or she. They didn't say if it was a guy or a girl. And truthfully, taking the coward's way out, he kind of deserved it. If what I believe is true. Like I said, I don't have any facts to back this up, but there is news articles saying that at least one police officer took his life after this. It just sounds so off-brand. Like, why the fuck did you do that? But like I said, there's many reasons why he could have took his own life. But I'm going down the line of thinking that if you took your own life, then you clearly either helped them do what they needed to do and knew what the backlash was going to be after what happened. Because after your guy Trump abandoned you, you clearly knew what was going to happen. I forgot to add on the part when these fucking savages smeared shit inside the Capitol. Now, I don't know how extensive this smearing was, but only fucking people out of their mind would decide that smearing shit all over the Capitol was the smart thing to do. The other side to that is the media showing black and brown people cleaning up the mess after what was all said and done. It's still a little warped that I picked up on that. I'm like, why are you showing these people cleaning? Like, they could have just said it and moved on, but they're showing them cleaning. It was a little knife twist there. But hey, depends where you get your news from. They're all pretty much fucked up. It's just depend who's less fucked up than the other. Cyberpunk 2077 is back in the news. The gift that keeps on giving. News has been dropped that says their 2018 E3 demo was all fake. All the features that they were showing inside the demo, the devs have never even implemented in the game once. Why do they choose to keep lying to their fans? Like, it just... At first we're like, well, it was the people who backed the investors that wanted them to push it out early. But it looks like they were always lying, and they always were against their fans. Just for you to drop a demo with features you know damn well was not in the game, what the fuck is going on with this company? They just can't help themselves. Between No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky didn't show features that were never developed. Don't get me wrong, the guy did make a whole bunch of promises and stuff like that. Yes, they were crucified for that. But showing features that were never available is taking it past a point that anyone can ever side with them. Before, I was like, I don't think they should be crucified. They should be crucified. They might need to bootleg, they might need to be bootlegging their fans for years to come for this fuckery. They're saying there's going to be free updates. Of course there's going to be free updates. You screwed people into believing your product is one thing and removed or never even developed the majority of the things that you were speaking of. This whole shit show with them. And people keep saying they're the GOAT. They were the GOAT. I'll just say they were the GOAT. They have one good game under their belt. And from what I was told, when The Witcher 3 dropped, it was a buggy mess also. They changed up the combat system. I'm just like, why can't they just, with so much fame to them that was built off the one game they made that was actually good? I haven't played the other Witchers. I played the one, didn't really like it. But I can see what people like it for, like the lore and everything like that. It just clicks. But it was the combat and things like that. affected me to the point that I'm just like, this is not fun to me. And if one of the main features that I feel that's not fun to me, the whole game, I can't power through the game. I may go back because I may have not given it enough time to actually give it definitive proof that this game is shit. But from what I played, I say give it more time. I didn't give it enough time. I think I have like 3 hours into the game. For a game like that, people say you gotta put in way more. Same thing with Persona. The Persona shit is kinda lame, but I can see that from where I am, it's still a tutorial because it's still explaining to me the combat system. But I have like 2 hours in the game already, or about that. So it's kind of weird that I'm still doing a tutorial. But back to Cyberpunk. For them to they're getting sued. They shouldn't get rightfully sued for their actions that they've taken thus far. You can't show a product with features that it never had. And that was 2018. The game released 2020, end of 2020. So within that time, the real problem is that they started out with a big lie and they had to continue with it because the lie was so big they couldn't take it back. They literally couldn't. And it's fucked up. For the people who really was about their work with the game and everything like that, to know that you're attached to a game that everyone is like, it's a buggy, shitty mess. Don't get me wrong. PC guys they're usually okay with buggy messes because they understand that this is the thing. They get updates a lot quicker. It's much easier to push out updates. For console gamers, the updates, I believe that the company has to pay for the updates to be implemented. For CD Projekt Red, it's just like you just go to a website or whatnot and download the update or however it wants to be pushed out. They have service for that, and that's free for them on that side. But the console side, there's less give on that side, and they've made their money back and some for the terrible mess that it made. They might have to, anything that comes afterward may have to just be free in general. Just like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky continuously dropped free updates until it was back to what it was promised. This game here, I don't expect anyone should pay anything but the base price for the game. And anything that's added onto it should literally just be free. Any DLC added should be free in general because the amount of lies that's been going through with this company, they may not recover because No Man's Sky didn't recover either. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people fell in love with the game, but what other games have they produced outside of that? I probably should have looked that up, but clearly I didn't. But what else have they produced outside of that? And it's very weird that a company would see what No Man's Sky did and just follow in the same footsteps. But even worse, because even in No Man's Sky, they didn't show you features that weren't in the game. And the showing the features that weren't in the game, you're implying that these features are already developed and everything. Don't get me wrong, the guy stating it, I feel like showing you features not in the game is an extra level of dishonesty than just saying something like, there's lies like, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Truthfully, that's bad. But showing you that there's features is a lot worse because you would have no way to be like, you know what, maybe, like in your head you're like, but why would they even lie about something like this? Because they're showing you things. Like if you see a video for a game and there's a demo for it and you're actually seeing someone play it in your mind it'll just click like, okay, those are in the game. Someone speaking about features, you'll believe them probably, but you know, there's a chance they may be lying. But showing you, it's just like, yo, you went above and beyond to lie to me now. You went above and beyond to lie to your fans. And to this date, I still haven't actually played the game. I actually have to give it a real good try. I'm gonna wait till it's more ironed out. So I'm probably not gonna play it until like late November, most likely, because I want everything that the game has to offer, and I want to see how they trickle out all this DLC. If they do any type of fuckery, like, oh, you have to pay for something, I'm already being like, alright, fuck it. I'll just watch a video for the game, get a feeling for it. But I doubt I'm gonna pay anything but the base price for this game just the fuckery. Like, I don't care what they had to do to make it happen. You are the video game company. You guys were doing fucking crunch, which people's like, oh, it's a bad thing to do crunch. It's not. If you're getting paid for crunch, it's not a bad thing, which is fucking annoying because everyone does OT in their job. Everyone. If something needs to happen for people to get paid, then I don't think risking hours of your family or risking your livelihood, aka your job, is a different story. And each individual people have to tote that line. I'm not saying these people can't be mad that they had to do the OT, but realistically, the type of position they have, they get bonuses like that based on how the game works. So it's like working at a car dealership. You get paid from every sale that you make. If you literally have no sales, then you're not getting no bonuses. Like what is happening here? Like, why do we not see this? I can't feel bad for a video game company when I understand that they make money off the sales. If you drop a product that is complete trash, you shouldn't make money. But I can't say it's complete trash because everybody has their own quirks about what games they like and stuff like that, because I don't buy any of the NFLs or NBAs because that's not for me. But they make millions of dollars outside of me, so clearly they must be doing something right, even though microtransactions themselves. But back to CD Projekt Red. They have been pointing out flaws in all these other companies and how they are doing things when they are the biggest liars. The biggest liars right now. The biggest liars. All new information that's dropped about them is clearly stating that they've been lying for years about how long they've been tweaking certain settings and how these things were happening. GTA 6 is rumored to have their first female lead. There's a lot of people online complaining that I don't really care. The truth be told, GTA is known to do whatever the fuck they want and it work out for them. You know what you get when you get a GTA game. You know what you're getting, and you should expect nothing but greatness from the GOAT. They haven't put out a subpar product, I'm going to say almost ever. I can't even name them. Any of the GTAs, Red Deads, they did Max Payne, they haven't dropped something that was garbage. So having it, I think they're going to be 3 main characters. Anyway, it'll be 3 characters like they did in GTA 5. One of them is going to be a female, I believe. I just want to know how they're going to make the storylines of that. I hope they don't make it female-centric, meaning like there's a love story, something has to do with a baby. I kind of hate children in movies and games, so that annoys me. I shouldn't say hate. I don't know. Yeah, hate. It's not sugarcoated. Storylines that have to evolve around someone being pregnant or fucking a child. It just is like, no. I don't think that should be a case in ever. Don't get me wrong. There's people that's done it right, but the majority, it falls under the same type of storyline telling, and it annoys me that this is always the story that people want to tell. But for the female character they have, I just want it to be done correctly. And I have faith that Rockstar is going to give me what I'm asking for. They're going to give me a compelling story. I'm open to be wrong. Even if I'm afraid of how they may do the story, don't get me wrong. I'm okay with the female character being there. But the storyline that's going to be with the female character makes me a little queasy. But it's Rockstar. Rockstar hasn't let me down yet. Gotta have faith in Rockstar. I don't know how they're going to put this together, but Rockstar has built up such goodwill with their games because they've come out with little to no bugs. What they're giving you is what you're getting. There's no surprises and any fuckery, and I'm willing to let them take the wheel. If they're going to give me a storyline and have the things that I gripe about in the story, they're going to tell in such a way That's going to make me be like, you know what? Maybe I'm too harsh on these type of subjects. Rockstar has built up the clout that it needs to just do what the fuck they want to do, and no one can tell them shit. Because you like the shit that they put out. They've sold Grand Theft Auto 5 for 3 consoles. PS3, PS4, PS5. So, it's not even a question that people are still playing Grand Theft Auto. It's not even a question. These guys have been doing their due diligence in what they've been putting out. Unlike CD Projekt Red, Rockstar has literally been spending the time to make these games. Grand Theft Auto 2 to Grand Theft Auto 3? We weren't even prepared for that. There wasn't even an inkling. They are the bar for open world games. Grand Theft Auto is literally the bar for open world games. And everyone needs to understand that. Every open world game that wants to do what Grand Theft Auto has done, they're following in Grand Theft Auto's footsteps. And when they don't follow it correctly and have all this fuckery happens, they clearly wasn't looking up to Daddy. Daddy's Grand Theft Auto / Rockstar, and follow the footprints. I don't know what the problem is with these companies that want to follow in their footprints and then have a buggy, shitty mess. Am I going a little too hard on CD Projekt? No, but this is beside the point. Rockstar has nothing more to say. Rockstar is going to drop a quality project. I may not like the character in the beginning, but throughout the game, they're going to make me a believer. That's just how they are. They're going to give you so much nuance with the character, you're going to have to fall in love with the character. And there's a lot of people like angry about it. There being a female lead. You guys got to cut it out, alright? We accept Tomb Raider, do we not? She's the GOAT. People's literally built off franchises, Uncharted, off what Lara Croft was putting out in these streets. Alright? Let's not act like Lara Croft wasn't carrying these people. But then again, there is those people who's like, oh, women lead, there can't be a woman lead. No, I just feel that characters should be, I feel like majority of characters should be more nuanced to the point that if they change one of the characters to a guy or a girl, it shouldn't change the story. But since they're going to put a female character in, they're going to put in female situations and stuff like that in the game. But like I said, I'm ready for Rockstar to set me down this path. There's no children in Rockstar games usually. Yeah, there's no children in Rockstar games usually, unless it's like a cutscene or something like that. There's not them walking out and about, walking in the streets. But yeah, Rockstar has been proven that they can be trusted, and if this does well, then there shouldn't be any problems with it. I believe it's going to do well. I shouldn't say if it does well. It shouldn't be any problems with it because it's Rockstar. And if it does well to that point, they may need to put more female characters in, more main female characters into the games. Supporting characters, female characters in the game, like strong backgrounds. Don't just make a character female just to have a female in the game. Like, make them compelling. Like, there's a lot of side characters in Grand Theft Auto games that people like the Battle of Gay Tony. No one can say anything bad about that game. You know, first gay character. I should say first gay character, but like a main gay character. There's different nuances in the way his story was being told, but no one can say anything bad about the game. Like, if you hate gays, you hate gays. That's something else. But the gameplay in general, the storyline that was told for it, it did everything right. So, Grand Theft Auto and their first female lead, or one of their main characters is going to be a female. I'm all for it. Grand Theft Auto, and those people who are not too sure about it, don't worry. When that GTA 6 drops, Ross is going to let you know why they're the GOAT again. Gonna make you a believer out here in these streets. Alright? Like, they don't have years of games under their belt. Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, UK. Like, don't even... What? The jump from 2 to 3. Rockstar Chinatown Wars. Like, Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars. Like, don't forget who you're dealing with. Red Dead 2, or the DLC for the game, the zombie thing, they know what they're doing. And just sit back for the ride, alright? Sit back for the ride. U.S. postal worker in Connecticut has finally been caught stealing PS5s and Nintendo Switches. Yo, it hurt my heart to hear this. We heard all the stories of people not getting their package and stuff like that. They're gonna be such a line of firings that's going on just in general because of all the people who was caught stealing PS5s. Like, don't get me wrong, some of these people were like seasonal work, so they didn't give a fuck about the job in general. But to know that a U.S. post office worker out here stealing PS5s disgusts me. They have his name here. I can't pronounce it, but that's beside the point. So he only got a fine of $20,000 and 3 years of probation. It doesn't even say if he got fired at all. And why was it so low? I thought stealing from the U.S. mail is a federal crime. This is what I'll be talking about. All these, like, quote-unquote crimes people be talking about, especially the federal ones, they make it sound so severe. But this guy got away with a slap on the wrist. $20,000? 3 years of probation? No jail time? Like, come on, man. This guy out here stealing people's products that they spent their hard-earned money during this shutdown, out here stealing from the American people? It's not that deep, but realistically, I didn't order the PS5, but my nephew did, and his shit never came. They said they dropped it off. Shit's crazy, because I don't even know what's going to happen to everybody else who got caught. I don't know how far it's going to go with this, but would more people will get wrapped up into these type of things? Because Target, Best Buy, Amazon, now the U.S. Postal Service, all these companies hired people to deliver these things, and their insurance companies for all these medicine packages is going up, right? So what's going to happen to all these quote unquote people who stole these packages? Don't get me wrong, some of them probably did deliver them, but we don't know what happened, and boom, just packages never came. Could have been people actually stealing them because Sony, for some reason, didn't put it in the undescript box. They just had it in the regular PS5 box, so you know it was inside of it. Which, what the fuck were they even thinking? Like, you're not gonna put it in another box, undescript box, but you want to put all your logos and shit? Like, that's cute and everything, but risking a product that's around $600, $500 to $600, tax, game. If you get it in a bundle, it's going up to like $800. But to do all this and not put it in an undisclosed box is just blatantly wrong. Now back to this post office worker. He was a manager there. It's just crazy that all these things were happening for the PS5. There was, like, in the UK, there was like Fast and the Furious type heists to steal PS5s, and this shit was really out here like that. They're still scalping. People are still paying more than they should. But to be honest, PlayStation is gonna make more, so these scalpers are gonna lose money in the long run, because the problem is scalping only really works when the product is in a limited time run. That's how they should be making their money. When you get a product that's going to have they're going to make more of, it doesn't make sense to even do that. And people who bought like 10, 20, 30 of them, they're going to start noticing that people are not going to be willing to pay their prices. So people making like double their money, triple their money back. You're not going to see that. You're going to see people selling their consoles for $200 more, $100 more. And then, let's not even go to people that stole them outright, because Sony can just disable that PlayStation. So it's just there's a lot of nuance to all this. And now that people are starting to get caught, I expect more arrests. That guy pled guilty, but he didn't get no jail time. That $20,000 fine, what is that? I'm pretty sure he makes more than that in a year. So what is that? They didn't hit him hard enough. Like, yeah, he's only stealing a console, but for you to steal mail is supposed to be like this sacred thing. Like, don't get me wrong, this is from the U.S. Post Office. You're not a regular delivery company. You're not like a weekend Prime driver, like who drops shit on a Sunday, like a makeshift one, or like a DHL, or there's plenty of other companies. But you're not like one of these. You're the United States Post Office, and everything they told is that you do anything outside the lines, it's a federal offense. This guy got slapped on a wrist, $20,000 fine? You fucking kidding me? I'm more mad that was the only fine he got. Like, what was the number? But you can take into consideration how much he stole. But it being a federal crime because he stole mail, and the position he was in, the story didn't even say if he was even fired. So, like, what is going on? Hold on, I gotta look this guy up. So, looking up into my other sources, he stole more than just the PlayStations and Nintendo Switches. He stole iPhones, footwear, clothing, and Apple computers. But the real question is, after doing all these things, let's just say he did one of each. How does that not be considered more of a crime than a $20,000 fine? This is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Thank you for listening to the Beantown Bully podcast. Please leave us a review. We're still new to the podcast game. If there's any topics or criticisms, please leave us a comment and shoot us an email at beantownbullies617@gmail.com. If you'd like to support, please check the links in the description.